So let me
right.
start showing people where you were from over here, where you
All
were from
right.
in Indonesia, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia. How many islands did you say there were?
If I'm not mistaken, of course, you can always check it on Google, yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, it's around 6,000 islands, big and small.
Many islands. So, and
16. Sorry, 6,000. If I'm not mistaken.
6,000. That's a
Yeah.
lot. And
Yep.
you are from?
Yeah, Balikpapan. That's in the island called Borneo. So Borneo Island or Kalimantan, as we the local call it, is I think it's the biggest island in Indonesia. So if you see in my background, it's here, here,
Ah,
here.
great.
So that's the biggest island here. I cannot
Excellent.
quite point it, yeah. So that's
And
where I'm from.
Borneo is very famous for tourism, isn't it? You receive a lot of tourists, don't you?
Uh, yes. Many of my foreign friends told me that I actually live and come from one of the most exotic country in the world. I, I don't know if it's true though, but I think we are. Yeah, we do.
You are, you are. So, what? Tell me about your culture. What do
Mm-hmm.
you guys usually eat?
Mm.
What do you do in an everyday life? Tell me a little bit about you and your people.
Mm. Okay, so how do I start? So as you know that Indonesia consists of lots of islands, yeah. That also means that we have lots of ethnic groups, like
Mm.
hundreds of ethnic groups, hundreds of ethnic language. But of course, we do speak Indonesian as the national language, yeah, and also English as the foreign language. Now, each culture has their own, how can I say, view about the world as a whole, and also the way we eat is also defined by where we are sometimes. One thing in
Interesting.
common, we eat rice. we
Really?
love we love
So
rice.
do we. Yay.
Really, you
Oh,
eat rice too?
Brazilians love rice. Yes, I love rice. I
Oh dear,
love
I did
rice.
not expect that.
Yes, we eat rice. I eat rice every day. Every day. Rice
Same.
and beans. Do you eat it only the rice or do you put something with it? Because we eat it with beans.
Beans, yeah. For us, that will be, we usually have, so the plate will be divided by three different stuff in it. Okay, so let's say 50% is the rice, and then 25% for the protein, we fish, chicken, or tofu, and there is this kind of a soya cake. I'm not sure if you have it in your country. We call it tempe. So
Mm,
it's a soya cake. Yeah, we usually
yes.
fried it. That's the
Mm,
protein mainly, and also some vegetables that could be salted, like not so soapy, or like soap style water with lots of water. So
mhm.
that's how we usually eat. Many of
In-
us.
Interesting. It's very similar to Brazil. Not
Really?
very, but quite similar. Yes, we eat rice with beans, a little bit of beans, a
Hmm.
portion of meat, and
Okay.
we eat all of this: fish, red meat, pork meat, chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We love chicken as well, and a portion of salad or vegetables. That
Mm.
that
Yeah, it's quite
we
similar.
Yeah, it's quite similar. See, I can go to
Oh,
Indonesia. I'll be fine there.
yes, you will love our country. I mean, the weather might be not so
Sure.
different as well. I mean, now it's 25-degree
Ah,
centigrade or Celsius. I'm not
so
sure in
delicious.
Brazil.
In Brazil, it's night time and
Oh,
it's
okay.
22 degrees Celsius over here right now in
Mm,
Brasilia.
22 in the evening. We don't really reach that low. We are a bit
Really?
we are a bit hotter, yeah.
You are hotter. You are a very hot country and you have wonderful beaches, right?
Yeah, yes, I think so. And you too, I guess.
Yes,
Brazil
we do.
also famous for the beaches, right?
Yes, we do. We do. And a question
Amazing.
that I have for you. Brazilians, I think
Yeah.
because of the hot weather and
Mm,
the beaches, people love to party. People love to
mm,
dance, drink beer, have fun.
mhm.
Are Indonesians party people like Brazilians?
Okay. Well, maybe some, but one thing that I would like to let you know is that 80% of Indonesians are Muslim, like me. Yeah.
Mm,
So in our culture, in the belief, well, we do have some kind of a gathering,
mm-hmm,
stuff, but it's not necessarily party, I suppose.
mm-hmm.
It's
And
more like, yeah, we don't drink
no
beer, we don't
alcohol.
eat pork, no
No,
alcohol, no pork, yes.
no
So it's
pork.
quite different.
Yes.
uh, but it's in some islands, in some cities in Indonesia, there are large majority of Christians, for example. So it's quite common to eat pork there.
Ah, I
So
see.
it's so multicultural, I
It
guess. Yeah.
is. It is.
Mm,
And how is it teaching English in such a situation with people, so many different people?
mm,
What are the challenges of teaching English in a country like that?
mm. I would say that, well, of course, my opinion will not represent most of us, but according to my own context, I think there are two main challenges. Sorry, so should be plural. Okay, the first one is, um at some points there are some parts in Indonesia that's quite remote,
Mm,
so it's quite difficult to access the mm, English language teaching or schools or an institution. That's one thing. Or even when you have everything like online education as we have today, it's still challenging for reason of internet connection, of course.
mm,
That's one thing. And the second thing is that, um, mother tongue at some point. I mean, it doesn't mean that the mother tongue is an obstacle, but um, we speak ethnic language, we speak Indonesian language. Now we have to deal with another language, which is the foreign language. There could be a benefit, of course, because you used to switch right from one language to the other, but it could also be a challenge.
I see.
Mm,
And I was going to ask you about that with by having so many islands, and I can see some of them are far
mm,
from the others, are they're
yeah.
not so close. Is it how is it to have internet connection? Do all the islands have this access to internet? And the schools during the pandemic, were the schools in the island having online classes during the pandemic? How were they
Mhm.
dealing with that?
That's a very interesting questions. That's the issues, to be honest. Yeah. So, the thing is, sorry, not all cities or village or town in Indonesia has that access to the internet. And but at the same time, if we relate it to the situations of the pandemic, at the same time, not all places in Indonesia also impacted greatly by the pandemic. So I heard stories of some villages, for example, in more remote places in Indonesia that still have the in-person class, like
Mm,
nothing happened, you
mm.
know.
They probably didn't have any COVID cases there, right?
Mm, yeah, I think so. I think so.
Mm, mm.
So, but what I also heard is that our Minister of Education worked really hard to deal with this internet connection, make sure that most of us get the access to the internet connections.
Ah, that's very good to know. Now, tell
Thank
me a
you.
little bit about yourself, Levi, and your
Mm.
experience teaching English. Are you
Oh,
are you teaching English at an institution at the moment?
mhm. Yeah. So, I run my own institution. So I have this small institutions, an English course and life club. So we combine English course and life club, which means that we try to make the language contextualize in different activities, through different activities. I mean, that's the thing. And I also run this small movement. It's non-profit, so you join us as well. Yeah, so
That's how we
that is,
met, right?
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
So
That's
nice.
regarding the increasing or enhancing the professionalism of English language teaching. And I'm a student, so I also learning at this moment.
Always, right? We are teachers, we're
Always.
always learning.
Yes, exactly.
And I was curious about that because I met you because of the program, and I think it was amazing that you conducted
you.
this, yes, these gatherings with many teachers sharing a lot of experience, and teachers from all over the world. And it has been an inspiration to me. So thank you. Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure.
And I'd like to ask you about this, about the professionalism of English teachers, because in Brazil, it is also, let's say, it's also a bit of an issue, because especially school teachers, sometimes they don't have such an elevated level of English, and they have to look for institutions to help them. Even after they are already teaching, they need to look for help to improve their English. Do you have the same in Indonesia?
At some point, so the situations, it's rather different, I guess. So if we talk about the skills in communicating in English, I would say that, well, according to some of my colleagues, of course, they say that they, as a school teacher, hope that they can get some English course. So it's like the English course, how to really enhance their skill in communicating in English. That's for the school teacher. But if we talk about like teaching, teaching training, for example, I think uh, the school teacher has more opportunity from the government, for example, to get such trainings. But the problem is at some point with some self-employed teacher, you know, those who teach privately, or teachers who teaches in private institutions. Now, training could be something that's quite not inaccessible, but they would love to have more, I suppose, and something that contextualized for Indonesian.
Interesting.
The
So the
thing.
government provides lots of training for
Yes.
teachers.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. And to be an English teacher there, you need higher education. You need a degree.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And are higher education institutions free there, or are they paid?
Unfortunately, no. It's quite expensive here. Oh gosh, yes. So our what is free at this moment is private school. I guess it's from, I think, our, how do you call that, compulsory educations last for 12 years. I don't know if the same thing happens in your country, so it's 12 years.
Yes,
Same,
from
yeah?
kindergarten until the end of high school, right?
Yes. So if the children go to the state school, that will be free, but not the case with higher education. No, unfortunately, no.
Higher education is all paid for.
Yes, still, yeah, still have to. It still costs us lots of money to go to universities.
Yeah. In Brazil, we do have some government educations, government institutions for higher education, but they can't, they don't have vacancy for all the population, so lots of people still have to pay too. So, yes. And yes, it's quite common that people end up paying for higher education too.
Yeah, it is, right? It is.
Yes, it is. Levi, how long have you been a teacher?
Hold on. Oh, professionally speaking, well, it will probably let's say 15 years, I suppose. No, wait, no, 10, I guess. Well,
After
before
some
that,
after some
yeah, but
time, we start losing the numbers, the years, right? Losing track of
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. But before that, I teach like voluntarily as a student, um, or yeah, voluntarily. So I wouldn't say that I was quite that professional. I was like in my experimental time, but then I started to be more professional. Let's say 10 years ago.
Nice. Wow, that's very nice. And do you have any advice? What piece of advice would you give someone who'd like to work as an English teacher?
Um, it might be something that also applied, could be applied to any teacher. I suppose that when you start teaching, you at the same time you have to start learning. That's what I feel. That if at the moment you feel that okay, I had enough, I know enough, that is the moment that you have to think again, do you really want to be a teacher? Yeah, because teacher is really a lifelong journey, isn't it? So
It is, isn't
keep
it?
keep open up your heart, your mind for studying, for meeting a new people, especially
Yes.
if you teach teach English. Is so important to meet people from different culture, not only from the Anglo-Saxons, let's say British or American, but globally.
Exactly. I think one of the biggest advantage of learning English is that I can meet interesting people from all over the world.
Yes, we
I
can talk like this.
Yes, I might never have money or time to go to Indonesia, but I can talk to you and I can meet you over
Yeah.
here from the computer. So
However, I really hope that you guys visit us, or I will find some time to visit Brazil.
that would be amazing.
Yes,
Yes.
I hope.
Oh, Levi, thank you very much for this.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. It's a great pleasure.